Today is going to be a bit different from my usual videos because a viewer recommended a movie called The Sure Thing and I absolutely hated it. You'll see why in a bit. So instead of my usual, which would have just been me getting more and more upset, which if that's something you'd enjoy, then you need to get help. I decided to give a breakdowny, ranty video as to why I think this movie is pure trash. Let me just say first though, I appreciate whenever one of you recommend a movie for me to watch. And I tried. I really tried to like it. I only got about halfway through the movie before I closed it off and questioned my life choices. I was convinced that some people were just trolling me to watch these strange movies. Up until I checked out the ratings for it after I finished the movie. And imagine my surprise. What? Now I'm just here left wondering, did we really watch the same movie? What the frick? Okay, so let's talk about this movie and why it didn't work for me, what I think it was trying to say, and where it completely lost me. Okay, so before we dive in, let's just set the stage a bit. The Sure Thing came out in 1985, smack in the middle of that classic 80s teen rom-com era. You know, that time with big hair, road trips, awkward flirting, what the fuck? And synth-heavy soundtracks. Now keep in mind that I'm not a movie critic, I'm a movie enjoyer. So my opinion here is based purely on me enjoying, or in this case not enjoying, the movie. We live in 2025, so rom-coms are just about the exact same through and through. Is that a bad thing? No, not for me. I like rom-coms. This story centers around Gibson, played by John Cusack. Just bear in mind that I've never seen a John Cusack film before, so this was my introduction to him. And Allison, played by Daphne Zuniga. I hope I didn't butcher that. Anyways, Gibson likes Allison, they go on an unexpected road trip together, they fall in love, they get together at the end. Typical rom-com stuff, right? Wrong! I'm absolutely amazed this movie is considered a classic for some people. But honestly, it's a product of its time.
She's a sure thing, Gib. A sure thing.
Just a bit. Just like all rom-coms, it's always about finding each other. In this case, one person didn't like the other at first, but over time and really getting to know each other, they fall head over heels and are completely inseparable. I'm really setting a tone here. I wonder if I can counter it. Don't worry, I can. Just you freaking wait. This movie also included two different love interests to combat them from falling for each other. In Allison's case, she has a boyfriend. Keep that information in mind. And in Gibby's case, there's this random blonde girl who's considered a sure thing. And obviously men plus PP equals sex all day, every day. Are you new here? But again, Allison learns not to judge a book by its cover, and Gibson learns that a sure thing doesn't necessarily mean a real thing. How sweet.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
There was one thing I appreciated from this movie though. They actually let Allison break up with her boyfriend first before getting with Gibson. But let's be real here, she'd been emotionally cheating on him already. So cheating is cheating. Okay, so I can sum up this whole problem into one thing. Drum roll please. This fool. As I said before, I've never seen a John Cusack film, so this was my introduction to him. And boy oh boy, was this not a good first impression. Where the heck do I start? I enjoy getting to know my protagonists. You know, the guy I'm supposed to be rooting for. It doesn't even have to be that deep. Just something of substance. Like, anything. Please. Look at Back to the Future as an example. In that wonderful 1985 timeline, we don't really dig too much into his personality and traits, but we do know he'll stand up for himself. He cherishes his friends, family, and his relationship with Doc. So much so that he's willing to put himself on the line to fix things. With his mom.
Hey, don't worry.
No! But in Gibson's case, we know absolutely nothing. Nada. Zip. Zero. Down to the very first scene where we're introduced to him.
How would you like to have a sexual encounter so intense it could conceivably change your political views?
What did you just say to me, you little prick?
Like, dog. What? The guy is an absolute loser and no girl wants to be around him. He just comes across as... what's the word? It isn't coming to me.
Desperate, foolish, annoying, performative. Did I mention desperate?
And that's another problem with this movie. It tries all the time and so very hard to tell us, not show us, that Gibson is a ladies' man and he's such a deep and thoughtful individual. But it's always undercut by him proving otherwise. The thing is, I have no hate for John Cusack here. I just think he either wasn't a good fit for this specific role, or the writers just didn't write a good story. Or maybe he's just a psychopath, I don't know. Because at no point did he feel remotely cool, calm, or even sane. And the thing is, this wasn't even a one-off. This was for the whole freaking movie. Come on! So as I mentioned earlier, Allison didn't like Gibson at first. That was an understatement. The kind of things this fool does would land him to being reported and losing any chance with any girl in real life. He starts off trying to talk to her and she literally gives him this expression. He already lost before he started. Come on. Gibson is supposed to be this knowledgeable, deep thinker.
This is all wrong. There's no punctuation. It's all one sentence.
But he can't even make any sense in his essays. So who the heck is this fool? He tries to con Allison into tutoring him, which she refused twice. Then he goes off on this weird psycho rant / guilt trip, but she just ignores him, as she rightfully should, which actually made me like Allison even more. Up until she eventually felt sorry for him that she agreed to tutor him. And I'm supposed to root for this fool? Like, come on! Then immediately after, one of his friends says some dumb babble line that he convinced himself always works on the ladies.
You know, I've never met anyone like you before. Usually when I meet someone new, I feel awkward and shy. But with you, it's different. I can talk to you. You know what I'm thinking without my having to explain it to you in fancy terms. We speak each other's unspoken language fluently. I love you.
But for once, Gibson actually says something meaningful.
That is the most enormous pile of horseshit I've ever heard in my life.
Could I actually like him as a person now? Am I getting hope? He convinced Allison to ditch their study session just to head up to the roof, and they finally have a meaningful conversation. But do you know what this fool does next? He regurgitated the same garbage from that friend he told was horse dung and goes in to kiss her. Like, what? What do you stand for? Like, come on!
Did it hurt you?
No.
And Allison just becomes more and more likable, actually. You know what the worst part of all this was? The movie tried to paint Allison like the weird one for being put together and having her life planned out, with her boyfriend, who shares the same motivations and goals as her. Like I said before, I was expecting Gibby to learn his lessons. Nope, it was Allison. Allison had to learn lessons. All because the English teacher said,
Have some fun. Sleep when you feel like it, not when you think you should. Make love in a hammock.
The annoying thing is, Gibson could have gone with literally any girl who gave him attention. It didn't necessarily have to be Allison. In a rom-com, I wouldn't expect my guy to be thirsty like that. Like, sure, it's similar to real life. Men, shoot your shot until something sticks, right? I'm not complaining. But I didn't come here for real life. Because let's be honest, life sucks. And that's why he even bothered to go on the road trip in the first place. To get with a sure thing. Because literally nobody wanted this fool. Even on the road trip, Gibson got a ride from a nice couple willing to carry them all the way across. And Allison just so happened to be taking a ride with them. She didn't willingly go with Gibson. Because who in their right mind would? And do you know what this fool did? First, he tried to cozy up with Allison in her bed, which he already knew she had a boyfriend, thus making her lose sleep for sleeping on the floor. Then he goes into one of his crazy rants again and gaslit Allison into believing she was boring for being predictable, which led her to do something completely and utterly insane. And in no way, shape or form is that ever okay. I don't care if it's the 80s, I don't care if it's 2025. Like, we don't do that. Which then led an officer to give them a ticket for indecent exposure. But that's not even the worst part.
Driving so as to endanger.
Driving with the load not properly tied down.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
And we're supposed to be rooting for this idiot. That display of idiocy gets both of them, yes, both of them gets kicked out. So now Allison is stuck with him by force. Then he just can't shut the hell up. So much to the point she actually takes the first ride away from him, even if it was with a suspicious person. That's how unbearable he was. But this movie has the gall to make us think that him saving Allison is a heroic act. It's literally just a lesser of two evils. It's not heroic or noble. Gibson is a psychopath. Then him getting sad about her calling her boyfriend after they shared one moment together is where I decided to close off this movie. Because like I said, they're painting Allison to be the one who needs to learn these things. And Gibson is some cool hero. Like, come on. Come on. I did finish the movie though. A month later, but I did finish it to see if I was right. And right I was. It just kept going in that same direction, and somehow made Allison start to like Gibson in the process. Even though we still know nothing about him other than he wants to smash any desperate girl. I mostly felt sorry for Allison's boyfriend and Gibson's sure thing. They painted planned and boring as some kind of negative. Which safety and security is most important for building a future? But what do I know? The desperate girl just seemed like a nice person with the little screen time we had with her. They didn't even give her a name. She's credited as the sure thing. Apparently I can keep ranting, but I think I made my points here. God. And look, I get what they were trying to say because this movie actually had a lot of potential. Like I said, I really wanted to enjoy it. I really did. Maybe this movie just wasn't meant for me. But I'm curious, if you've seen it, do you like the sure thing? Can someone explain to me what they get from this, please? Please. Anyways, that was the movie. I'm not gonna lie, this was more of a therapy session than a movie review. So I feel better now. If you enjoyed this breakdown, or if you came here to watch me suffer, then check out another video of mine right here. And let me know in the comments, what should I put myself through next? Fun times. Anyways, that's it from me. See you next week. Peace!